WrestleMania 36. The first WrestleMania that is too big for one night. The first WrestleMania without any fans due to circumstances outside of their control. So yeah, with this show having 15, I think it's like 15 or 16 matches on the card. Yeah, let's get the prediction started. I'm gonna just go through some of these matches that I really don't care about and that are just kind of filler, and I'll actually talk about the matches that I do care about more in length than what I'm about to do here. So I'm just gonna run down the winners. Otis Ziggler, I have Otis winning. The Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the women's tag team titles. I have Bliss and Cross winning the titles. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. I have Daniel Bryan winning the title. Elias versus King Corbin. Elias wins. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Why is this a match for WrestleMania? This is a Monday Night Raw match that happens in the middle of the show that takes up about 20 minutes into like the second hour. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Aleister Black. Miz and Morrison versus the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles in a ladder match. I don't know. Miz and Morrison retain. Why not? The Raw Tag Team titles. The Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. I have the Street Profits winning. Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks versus Tamina of all people. For the SmackDown Women's title, Bayley retains. And now to the matches that I actually somewhat care about that I'm actually going to talk about. Edge versus Randy Orton in the Last Man Standing match. Edge came back during the Royal Rumble. It was really interesting that, I feel like this match is going to miss the fans a little bit because it's Edge's, first one-on-one match. You're going to miss the pop he would have gotten for WrestleMania, the type of entrance, the type of pyro he would have gotten. But this storyline so far, I've enjoyed it. It's basically Randy Orton saying, if anyone's going to retire Edge, it has to be me. I'm not going to let someone else hurt him. So I've liked what they've done here, and a couple of the promos they've had, the fact that they've had to do the shows with no fans adds some to it. With there being no fans, it's like I'm watching a regular drama TV show. I have Edge winning the Last Man Standing match. After going through all of it, I mean he's gonna win. There's no reason for him to lose. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Another feud that has had stuff added to it because there being no fans and the promos being just them kind of talking to each other. Just kind of more monologue-y type stuff. Kevin Owens wins this match that they've been feuding. It's time for him to get his payoff. I have Kevin Owens winning here. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. It's going to be interesting, right? Because of the circumstances of which WrestleMania is happening. They're going to get creative and they're going to have a Boneyard match. So they're probably going to go find or maybe create a makeshift cemetery or something. It's going to be really interesting. What they've done here, it's really what I think some people have thought about The Undertaker, that it's time for him to retire, that he's just going out there and he's not that from the point of view of what AJ Styles is saying, and Taker's still going back out there. Really interesting, with what they've done. Taker isn't really in his regular dead man, attire. He's more, I guess you could say, or no, I don't want to say the biker stuff, but I guess, with the leather jacket, with the little, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, a scully, I don't know the terminology there. Really interesting. I have Taker winning here. It's really interesting to see what they're going to do with this Boneyard match. Another match that's going to be, in a different format, John Cena versus The Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match. It's going to be really interesting. I was, interested when they first introduced it before the cancellations of the shows in front of a live audience. It's really interesting to see, what they're going to do in the Firefly Funhouse. I have The Fiend winning here. so far, the only match The Fiend has lost is against. Well, I guess he lost two matches. He lost that match against. No. He won that match against Seth Rollins. He lost to Goldberg, but for the most part, he's beaten anybody who has, in his mind, done him wrong in the past. So yeah, I have The Fiend winning here in the Firefly Funhouse match. The next match, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, the Raw Women's title. I don't really care for Becky all that much. I mean, it isn't terrible. I guess some of her stuff feels a little bit more forced now with this whole kind of, I guess you can say, Conor McGregor gimmick. Not that big of a fan. I mean, it's all right. Whenever she comes up in the truck thing, but it's for the most in the glasses thing and then the fur coat. It's don't really care for it. I have Shayna Baszler winning here. I don't think there's any reason for her to come I mean, granted, Asuka came up and won, and then she ended up losing to Becky. Actually, we could see history repeat itself here. I think there's a very strong chance that Becky Lynch ends up winning. And considering that I think Shayna Baszler had the upper hand on Raw, that usually doesn't bode well because the person who has the last upper hand ends up losing at WrestleMania. Yeah, Becky Lynch might win, but I'm picking Shayna Baszler. I'm gonna stick with my pick, and I'm gonna have Shayna Baszler win here. Next, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte for the NXT Women's title. I have Rhea Ripley retaining the title, even though, as I mentioned earlier with that whole Charlotte thing, I mean, Charlotte doesn't need the win. Granted, I guess, they could always throw her down in NXT so she can, maybe try to elevate some of the women down there. But, I mean, I don't think that's really necessary. I think Rhea Ripley retains here. There really is no reason for Charlotte to win here. I mean, they could do it, and they could make something out of it. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Granted, I probably said the same thing, for Asuka and Charlotte, and it ended up happening. Charlotte ended up winning. So you can go either way. But I have Rhea Ripley winning here. Next, the final match, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the Universal title. Drew wins. This got to suck for Drew, considering he thought he was going to probably end up winning the title here with a bunch of fans cheering him on. But it's not going to happen. I have Drew winning here. I mean, Brock could end up winning. They could always end up doing that. But Drew's going to win here. And these are my WrestleMania predictions.